Welcome to Keep Going, a podcast about failure and success, hosted by John Biggs. Every week, we talk to an amazing person about a time they failed and what they learned. And remember, when you're going through hell, keep going.
Welcome back to Keep Going, a podcast about success and failure. I'm John Biggs. Today on the show we have Marcus Bravo. He's Chilean. He lives in Portugal now. I met him in Poland when we were pros, approximately, 6 years old, I think. That's what it feels like at this point, right?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So welcome, Marcus. You're an author, you're a marketer, you've done loads of work over the years with multiple clients, multiple places, and now you're kind of doing your own brand. You're kind of building your own presence. So why don't you tell me about what you're working on?
So, like you said, I moved to Portugal from Poland 2 years already here. And yeah, I needed to start something else. I felt that I was getting old for being the tech guy or the sales guy. And just, let's see what I can do, right? So mix of crazy stuff. You try to do everything that you think, that you feel that it can be sort of meaningful to yourself, but you really realize that you don't know what's meaningful to yourself. So you have to rediscover all of that. And one of the things I'm doing now, like I wrote a book, which it was on my bucket list, I guess. I wrote a book, starting with video again, started putting together a punk rock band here in Portugal. Jesus, I've been trying to do everything just to figure out what's the right thing to do. And when you have a family, you have to figure out how to pay the bills. So I'm still having an affair with tech, but basically I'm just trying to still discover things when I'm 46, which is, I don't know if it's right or not, but it's weird.
What is that? What is that impetus to discover as we get older?
I guess I get so used to, I have to figure out how to pay the bills and that's it. I started figuring out what am I showing my kids? Is it all about money? Is it all about just to go through life without trying to not die of hunger? And I wanted to do something that is meaningful for me as well. I had to sort of ask permission. I was like, do you mind if I don't do this crap? I make less money, but I do something else that might be more meaningful. And that's what I'm doing. The whole book came out of almost an accident, just like watching videos of people writing books, trying to come up with an idea. And because I couldn't write the book that I wanted to write, I ended up writing another book that ended up taking shape, and now it's on sale. There's every little step that I'm doing is just sort of showing me something new. And like you said, right, we've been around for a while. We've been doing tech, all the stuff for many years, but there's always a space for something new, something better, something meaningful.
What does it mean to be meaningful, right? So your book is Annalise's Diary, which is a kid's book, right? And it's about a little girl. Why don't you tell us the story?
So basically, Annalise came out. I was writing a kid's book, right? I was writing a bunch of stories, very cool, fun, weird, scary, whatever. And then when I was blocked, I was like, I need to write something else. And I remember seeing a tweet right before I started writing that says, with all this happening around the world, we're going to have an Anne Frank in our backyard. And so I was like, right, well, what if Anne Frank's still around? What if there are many Anne Franks around the world, especially with how things are? So I started to write the story, how would I see from maybe a little bit of a Latin view, or trying to add my own experiences into this little girl called Anna, who got stuck in the attic with her brother and her auntie, and they're trying to figure out how to be quiet, because noise will bring more people, will bring the bad people. And that ended up taking very nice shape. I started adding all of the things that I knew of storytelling, and I created a story that is maybe not an easy to read story, but it made sense to me, and it made sense. My daughter had to approve it, so it made sense to her too. It worked.
Is the goal to just do this? Is the goal to allow this to be part of your personality, part of how you grow? Do you think it's Marcos Bravo, author, for the rest of your life, or is it Marcos Bravo who does everything else that you've done before, right?
I think it has to be a mix. The first thing I realized for sure is that I don't want to be the one road guy. But every time or any time there's something that feels good, that feels right, let's give it a shot. For sure, I'm writing more. I love writing, and I've been writing since I was a kid. And this is the first time I actually said, and this is because I was unemployed. I'm I have all this time in my hand. I need to do something, otherwise I'm going to go crazy. So I need to put stories in there. And it felt right. And that's definitely something I want to keep exploring and want to keep doing.
Tell me about storytelling in general. How do you use storytelling in your career? How do you use it, and how do you use it to first off, eat AI, right? Because right now we can blast out. We could feasibly blast out your book if we gave it the idea. It would just blast it out.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be any good. How do you keep that humanity? How do you keep that aspect of storytelling?
Well, I mean, AI, even though it's being helpful with many things, I mean, I use it quite often for work, but it was a huge threat for me because I mean, my whole career beside marketing and sales or whatever is because of storytelling. Is because I found that I can tell stories that people want to listen, and rediscovering that people, yeah, they're okay with that. I can create stories in AI like that, but it's this connection that is missing. Like you and I talking, you and I looking at each other, and having that feeling that's irreplaceable. That's not going to happen anytime soon. It might happen, absolutely. I mean, anything can happen. But I think the reason people connect to other people is because they see beyond the story, right? They get to feel something because of the story, and I don't think that's something AI can really do well. Especially when you tell the story, you can read something fun that the AI created that can come up with super cool ideas, but the reason why I keep getting hired for making videos for companies is for this, right? Because I can look at you in the eye and say something that it will get you to think, it will get you to connect, it will get you to relate. And I think that's the part of storytelling that fascinates me, that when you know people, and this is something that marketers and sales, they will definitely know, you have to know people in order to connect to people. If you don't know who are you talking to, well, your story is just going to fall off the cliff and not going to go anywhere.
Okay. Doing all this stuff, reduce you in the eyes of like a professional class? Like, I think you and I are similar in that we do a lot of things. Like I've written 10 books. I've been a marketer. I've been a journalist. I've been doing all kinds of things. If you look at my LinkedIn, it's like a Bible. Like there's 50 stories in there. What do you think about that idea that if you're not focused on one thing, if you're not focused on one startup for X amount of time, then you're essentially wasting your time. You're not a professional person.
I think growth it cannot be unidirectional, right? It cannot be just one path. You don't get to grow that way. You just get to walk. I feel that remember my first job, there was something that they told us straight away. We only want you for 3 to 5 years. We don't want you more than that, because then you're going to burn out and you're not going to be good to us. Commit to work with us for at least 3 years. And since then, back in 2000, like I cannot do something for that long. I cannot focus that much into one thing, because then I don't learn anymore. Right now, I get to work with 20-year-old people that they're teaching me how they connect, how they write stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. I mean, I'm proud of my LinkedIn as well. Like I'm proud of all those that crazy stories that are there. I mean, from beer, a character in Disney World, like any random stuff that I do in my life has been taking me here. And the place that I am right now, even though it's been hard the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, is the place that I want to be. I wouldn't change it for the world. I am glad of taking detours and easier ways and harder ways, but it shaped what I have now, which is exactly what I wanted to have.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you're lucky in that you took that detour? Like a lot of people kind of stay on their cubicle, right? But I mean, a lot of those people are making $500,000 a year and driving a Porsche, whereas you're writing books. I'm up here in an attic recording podcasts.
But I guess it will depend. I mean, I think people don't know any better, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, my dad worked almost 50 years in the same company, same cubicle, wearing a suit for all of those days, right? The tie and everything. And now he's discovering that he had so much more to do, and he hates himself because he didn't do it before. Mm-hmm. And he's getting sick now, and he's 75, and I don't want that. I want to look back at a certain point and say like, damn, I did so much. I was like, that was crazy. I think that will be the ideal thing to say before I leave this world, is like look back and say that was crazy. But I wouldn't blame it on people, right? I wouldn't blame it on other people. Like if they want to have one path,
safety, right? Safety.
It's safety, and somehow also like it's not ignorance. The word I'm looking for, it's just not my first language. It's just more of a like not knowing any better, if you know what I mean.
Well, you don't know what the alternative is, right? If your entire life was about business development,
yeah,
you wanting to become a sous chef at a Michelin-starred restaurant, kind of hard, right? You kind of doing that pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about aging. Tell me about how you feel now. You're working with 20-year-olds. You're in you're an entirely different world to a degree than what we came up with. It was a different environment, different ways of working, different ways of communicating. I've tried. This is my penance, right? To apologize to all the startups that I've frustrated. So, and I know that like this sort of gentleness, I think, is more important now than it used to be. Used to be us, we were hard charging, except for like the whatever crypto bros or whatever on Twitter. But tell me about your feeling about aging into an industry that could easily knock you out of it in the next couple of years if you're not careful and if the cards aren't stacked properly.
I mean, it's scary for sure. Every day I'm wondering like how many more years of making videos for companies I have, or how many more years of knowing enough that people wants to learn from you. And that's one of the things. For example, my last job interview was like, all right, well, we have this career path that we can show. I don't want to manage anyone. I don't want a C-level position. That's long gone for me. I'm happy with where I am. If people want to learn from me, I'm happy to mentor, happy to show my experience, but don't give me more responsibilities, man. I'm happy with providing a very specific thing for you, and good luck with that. Like, here's what you asked me for. I mean, if you want to know more, if I can show you something better, I'll be happy to do so. I'm trying to limit my knowledge delivery into like, all right, what you want from me. Here it is. Do you want more? Let's talk about it. But I think we will have a sort of a revival of, we want experience. We want people with, and I don't mean stories of like in the storytelling sense, but with history behind, right? Like people who would be there. Because after all, you can read whatever you want on AI, but if you don't know what it means, if you don't know how to do it, if you know how to like where that came from, it's nothing. So I'm taking it easy. No, eventually there's no more taking it easy, right? Eventually I need to figure out a way to what happened after. I mean, I with my wife, we just started an ice cream brand now here in Portugal. So hopefully that's going to pick up, right? Like, and I'm applying whatever I know marketing into it. But yeah, because I also know that eventually you will be sort of unplugged from this world of business and tech and whatever. So I'm taking it step by step. I don't know what's going to happen next year, especially with this world, but I'm trying to enjoy it. Scary, but I'm trying to enjoy it more.
How does it feel? I mean, you're from Chile. You're seeing all kinds of messy stuff. I mean, even in Europe, it's not not the friendliest towards outsiders, right? How are you dealing with that? How are you using that your identity to your advantage?
I think eventually. I never sort of introduced I'm not afraid or embarrassed from my background at all. I'm actually very proud. But is what happened after I left Chile that built who I am, right? Like until I was 20 years old in Chile, I was just smoking weed, going to uni whenever I could, and just party every weekend and whatever. But then everything took a turn to like, right, more. I want to do more. I want to see more. I want to see the world. Chile just got too small. So I started building something new. So when I meet people from anywhere in the world, now I can say, I've been there. Where are you from? Yeah, I've been there. Like I hide this. I cooked your food. I've done this, or I've seen people from. So it just opens up a whole new thing. So it's not just like, this is a guy from Chile. I don't even know if he speaks English. Now it becomes like, all right, I've seen the world. Like, I can tell you things that you have no clue. Right. And that changed the perception too. One of the biggest thing that I was doing always was trying to connect Poland with the US. Even though I'm not American, I knew how to talk to American people. I know how to go to Las Vegas and have drinks and close deals that way. Right. But it was because I saw the world. I had to go out of my shell and see what's happening outside in order to create not a new me, but a better me, or something.
I get it. Interesting. So you got the book. You've got the ice cream brand.
Yeah.
What else is in your head right now?
I mean, whatever time I have off. I mean, I'm doing video for companies, like I said, right? And that's sort of my main like bill payer job. But I still get to play punk rock during the weekends with friends. And go to events. I sell the ice cream myself and don't sit down in the background. And the rest is just I want to make sure that I can deliver a couple of good core memories to my kids. No, not everything that you do means anything or something, right? So I want to make sure that the couple of things that they will remember forever. So I'm trying to figure out, I mean, there are probably already some that I done without really thinking, but I don't know. I want to take my daughter to Japan. I want to take my son to New York because he wants to eat a steak in this big steakhouse that he knows, and for some reason, and he's only 9, right?
Peter Luger.
But yeah, So
yeah, when you get out here, I'll take you.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I can't wait to actually visit again. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I want to make sure that I deliver to my family this feeling of like, that was cool, that was awesome. But I also want to make sure that I can say also, oh man, my life was awesome. I enjoyed it till the end. And I think I am doing it. I mean, I even stopped drinking and I still enjoy it, which for me was always, like, every little step is being like, is getting better. I mean, there are always awful times that we all go through, but I think you get to stop every so and so and look back and see how high you are and say like, wow, that road was crazy, but here I am. And then you look up and like, shit, there's still a lot to go. And then you keep going. Those moments that when you stop and turn around and say like, all right, well, it's been awesome. Let's keep moving. I think that's sort of what I'm focusing on right now.
So the book is called Ana Luce's Diary. Marcos Bravo C, which you would look for if you're looking on Kindle. I'll put a link to it in the story, but I want people to check that out. I wrote my kids 2 books, but yeah, especially now. I mean, it sounds like it's actually a vital story. Like I said, I wrote my kids 2 books, but I don't think they even read them. So I think you might have even one up on me, which is pretty cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So this has been great. I'm glad we got to talk for a minute, and I think your view on this whole thing is pretty nice and healthy. Hopefully you don't hit any walls as you creep up in age. I don't think we will. I think we'll be okay. We made it through. We made it through. We made it through this far. I think we'll pull off the rest of the ride.
Absolutely. And thanks for the invitation. I mean, we haven't catch up in ages, and we haven't seen each other in ages, so it's good to even through this is cool.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Marcos, thank you for joining us. It's been great. His new book, Ana Luce's Diary. Check it out. It's on Amazon. Pick it up. This has been Keep Going, podcast about success and failure. I'm John Biggs. We'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to Keep Going, a podcast about success and failure. Remember, Keep Going is entirely listener supported. If you're listening to this, please head over to keepgoingpod.com, where you can subscribe to the podcast for as little as $5 a month. This is a labor of love, and every little bit helps. Thanks for listening.